Partly sunny skies and it will be breezy. See an afternoon high around 90. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy. Low around 64. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers in the morning. Otherwise, mostly sunny and breezy with a high around 93. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clark for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Oh, vibes are up on a Monday. It is a fantastic day in Lincoln. The sun is shining bright. The sky is blue. The breeze is crisp. Nebraska 28, Colorado 10. I'm Austin Orman. To my left, your right on streams, brought to you by Starter Heyman Jewelers, is Eric Strickland, who was in the stadium. Stricky, how you feeling?
Man, amazing. And let me throw this out. What was your level of doubt? Like, I know we put our scores in, and let's be honest. This we probably should have scored at least
like
two
40.
Or right. So I was about 6 points. I should have been about 6 points off, because the we're gonna get into it, but I felt amazing because I can say I didn't really have any doubt watching last week's games, Austin. I felt okay. Let me backtrack. Austin,
Stricky,
we had a similar conversation, and remember I told you that the trend to me seems like it was like us that transitioned it. It's like they got sick of being sick and tired. Got sick of being criticized for not being able to win the big game. Back then it was they can't win the big game. You know what I'm saying? It became they can't win one score games.
Yeah.
Right? But we on the block had a conversation, and I don't know if you remember, but the conversation we had was with the basketball team. how when we walked into certain games, that's it. When we walked into certain games, we knew they were the better team. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yep.
So this game, after watching the last 2 weeks games, I literally walked into this one feeling that we're a better team again. Just the football version of it. Like I didn't have a doubt that we would win that game. And what we're going to talk about in some of this is the stuff we talked about on Friday, the keys, some of the keys, how those keys played out in this game, and how on point I think we were in some of our discussions, because it did play out the way that we said if they do this, they will win this game.
And that's why people listen to us here on the block. 2 to 4
We were on
weekdays, brought to you by Nebco. I will give us credit for that. I will give you the majority of the credit for that. Before we get into the game, the plays, the players, the breakdown, Stricky, you were there. You were sitting there up the Colorado sideline, right on the.
No, I was
a back,
end zone
end
opposite of
the tunnel.
Of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like in there? You walked over from Kindler to the game. What was campus like? How was your experience in that environment?
Well, one thing I can tell you for sure is I had some conversations with folks that are regular attendees of Nebraska football games. And our entrance was section 24, which is on the South Stadium to the right, if you're coming from downtown. So he said, as many games as I've been to, he's like, I've never seen the line like this, where we went over right after we had A1 Automotive pregame show, and we got there and people was just bottled. It was bottled up. Like I was looking at it, I was like, okay, we're going to get in before kickoff, which we did. We got in there about 15 minutes before everything. But man, when you talk about the look in the fans' eyes, like it was like no denying. They were going to be rowdy. They were going to be loud. And when I'm talking about, they were loud. Like this first swat, when he swatted the ball down, and then the sacks, and that
you were right there for the pick six, weren't you?
Yeah, right. No, I was on the other end.
Opposite, gotcha.
But what's your boy's name? The clown that comes on here?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Irrelevant.
Well, there's a clown that comes on here and trolls a little bit. He said to us last game, Austin. He said the black shirts won't touch him once, let alone twice.
Did that on the first drive.
Obviously, he doesn't know what he's watching. He's delusional in what he sees. But
hey, that's why we're here and he's there. Let's just leave it at that.
That's a key. So a lot of people I think were naysayers. A lot of people didn't possibly fully believe, and then there was the Kool-Aid drinkers. I'm still not in Kool-Aid mode. I'm still not drinking all the sugar, but I do believe, and I'll stick to it, that I think this team will win a minimum of 8 games. If they play well, I can add 2 more to that.
Okay.
I have a ceiling of 10-2. I have a ceiling. If they exceed that, we're in something special, Austin.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I think if Nebraska gets to 8, it's a 3-way improvement. I mean, that's why yesterday, Strick, I want to talk about this as well. We want people that were at the game, right? Let us know your thoughts on the environment, right? If you've been to Husker games before, where did this rank? If you haven't been to a Husker game before, what was it like for this being your first one? 402-464-5685. Let us know. Also, tweet at us at OnTheBlock937. If you have pictures from the game and you were there, at OnTheBlock937, at eStrick20, at Austin_Orman. Tweet at us. Let us know. We'll retweet you. We'll signal boost you for sure there. Was it a happy crowd? Was it an angry crowd? Was it a nervous crowd, an excited crowd? What was the energy like?
It was all of that. And there was definitely some animosity and anger, things that have been said, things that happened out there, the way that they treated Husker fans. And Nebraska good. I think for the most part was there, but I do believe that there were some things said, some things done, some animosity, frustrations being let out. And I think when you also look at this, you got to look at what was said in the post game shows. So you definitely heard a different tone coming out of Nebraska. Obviously, it's a win. You know, I think in a loss, though, sometimes it's also a tone that needs to come off. And we talk about it in other sports as well. I think the tone was could have been better, especially coming from Coach Sanders and both Shador. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna need them, right?
Oh yeah.
And this is not to throw shade or anything. It's just being real. You're gonna need those guys. They all you got.
They all you need. They all you get.
You know what I'm saying? On the Colorado line. I mean, I know they struggle. You could see they're going to be a struggle, but you got to coach them up now. Like you've got to encourage. You've got to coach up, especially when you're behind center. You need them more than anything. Like you know something. If I had the kind of NIL, let me be real with you. If I had, I'm not buying them Rolexes or nothing like that because we're not in the NFL. But I would definitely buy them a Knox watch.
Sure.
I would buy them something. I would have been taken. I don't know if he's done
Fossil?
this. Something nice. Like I would have. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. Hey, listen. This is just for you guys. I know you're protecting me. I know you guys see when I promote. I just want to let you know I appreciate you. Like sometimes it's got to be that. Like. You know, it's tough if you come off and you say, like what he said in the post game, where he said, "How many times was Raiola touched?"
Oof.
You know what I'm saying? That'd be like me coming out of the game in a loss. I go in the press room and I say, "Yeah, Sean Bradley sucked today." You know, I mean, he just let Shaq do whatever he wanted to do. You know, I mean, in the same way that would be like in a sense, because everybody knows what you're talking about, right? So that's where I think, and you heard Coach Sanders say it in their locker room in some instances. Oh man, you guys got to hold each other up. You got to be there for each other. This is where you know that Nebraska's culture is different.
Yeah,
because you saw that, right?
It's what you saw, what you heard.
You saw.
But also what you didn't see and what you didn't hear. You know, it works both ways. There's a lot of good stuff on the text line here, Stricky. Money G in Kansas. I could hear the state of Nebraska yelling and the state of Colorado crying in Kansas Saturday night. What an amazing weekend for Husker Nation. Go Big Red. Riley W. The fact that I couldn't hear the announcers on the radio told me all I needed to know. Earthquake Lou. Been going to games since the mid-'80s. Top 10, maybe top 5 best atmosphere for Earthquake Lou. And Stricky, you were in college, you know, in around during the heyday. So if you're saying that tells me there's something to it.
Bro, it was next level. And I'm talking about, I was in there for when they played Washington. I've been in there for Oklahoma and Nebraska. I've been in there for Colorado, Nebraska, 1-2s, 1-3s. And look, it was good, but that was next level. Like it was next level. Like if they can continue to maintain that type of energy throughout the season and it expires, and I'm glad they got this runway. When I look at it, I'm actually glad that they got this runway. The schedules was done and they got themselves in a situation where they're going to be able to get comfortable before they really hit the road. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting. Sways on the YouTube stream, he throws out there, at worst, Nebraska should be 5-1 after 6 games. I think at worst.
Yeah.
At worst.
No kidding.
And that's real talk. I mean, this Nebraska team is very similar to what we were talking about for the basketball team. We're like, this team is going to walk out on the field and they're going to be better than teams. Right?
And feel confident in it, but hopefully not overconfident.
Right. Shout out to them too, man. Jumping in the top 25 today at 23. Shout out to the Huskers, man. They earned it, but just can't smell themselves. And I think this coaching staff is different. They won't allow them to smell themselves. They'll tell them to continue to put in the work. You got to continue to show and prove. Right.
And we'll get to that too, because that was Matt Rule's tone in post-game and then in his press conference today. A couple more things from the text line. Mr. Cub, the environment was awesome, as loud as I've heard it in the first half. There's a second half to that text we'll get to here in just a minute here. Rod in South Lincoln, crowd was electric, as loud as 2014 Miami, but not as loud as 94 Colorado. If you're measuring games against 94 Colorado and 92 Colorado, Ty Robinson said it was the second best environment he's ever played in front of, behind the Michigan game when they came to town for the night game. And that one I can understand from Ty Robinson. I was maybe kind of taken aback at first. But Strick, that was the first time in a long time Nebraska had that environment against a team like that and was in the game. So for Ty, I can totally understand where he's coming from with that. Newt says, that was the most fun I've had in the first quarter in Memorial Stadium in 20 years. And here's the Stricky ham and beans. First time I've ever felt the stadium moving. Dang,
yeah, it was
that
shaking.
says it.
It was shaking. The light shows
Shaking
I
or
thought was
shaky?
full. It was shaking.
Okay.
It was some bounce in that end zone. I was like, wait, okay, we good. But I loved everything that I saw. I thought we were engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it kind of got a little bit slow, and that happens with a lot of penalties, and a lot of the stuff that was going on in the second half just kind of put it in a lull.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, man, I was extremely impressed with all facets: defense, offense, running game, and that's what I know we're gonna get into the depths of those things. What else?
Cody from Broken Bow. Strick, you gave me a psychology lesson last week when I said I had a bad feeling and was hesitant to believe. You said it attracts the energy you give off. Positive vibes only moving forward.
My man. Yes, sir. And that is true, man. It is. I didn't have any doubt. Mm-hmm. And it actually worked to our favor, because the issues that we've had. Oh, I'm just gonna say one point. Like, for example, this is when I knew it was different. In the past, remember we talked about everybody having those doggone Barney moments. I love you. You love me. We're a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Right? So when we would get in scrunches in the past, it would be a bunch of that. Everybody, right? But God darn it, when I saw us getting in the scrunches today, I saw Gifford in there digging. Like he was digging for goal. He was trying to go in there and snatch that thing. I was like, ooh, yeah, they different this year. Because it ain't none of that. They're going in there with reckless abandon, trying to come out with the cookies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew we were different.
28-10, Nebraska beats Colorado. We are taking your thoughts, your comments all show long at 402-464-5685. That's our Starter Heyman Jewelers text stream, or leave a comment on our Starter Heyman Jewelers live video streams on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Two Card Monty, Sways, appreciate you guys chiming in there. Strick, I'm not going to lie. I've had a little bit of a change of heart since Saturday night when it comes to this game. Because Nebraska was up 28-0, and the second half felt like such a grind, I was a little disappointed post-game. Not in the win. Obviously thrilled that Nebraska got the win. It was still a 3-possession win, which is huge. I was bummed it was a bit of a ref show, and there was a little bit of a letdown, it felt like, in the second half, because Saturday night should have been off the chain, off the hook. But I think people were just ready to get to quadruple zeros. And so post-game, I wasn't maybe as hyped, as thrilled as I could have been in the moment about it. But looking back, Strick, 28-10, that's a Nebraska-style score. I still think that the 2 touchdowns in each of the first and second quarters, Matt Rule would like that more consistently spaced out across the game. Yes, there's always going to be stuff to clean up. But now that we're here on Monday, Stricky, I'm fully aboard the boat of, holy cow, Nebraska just won the biggest game of its non-conference. Nebraska just won its biggest non-conference game in close to a decade. They did it by 3 possessions, and I don't care how good or bad Colorado was going to be. This game wasn't about Colorado. Nebraska made it about them, and that's worth speaking about and thinking about positively.
Well said. Yeah, they did. And again, what you saw out of this, Austin, was what we talked about on Thursday and Friday. was taking a business mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they looked like they was on. I mean, look, they came in about business, and guess what? It didn't hurt that 94 was in the building too, right?
Mm-hmm.
94 champions. They were honored before the game as well. That doesn't hurt because that's history and tradition and championship pedigree, and they're watching you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They're looking at you. And if you come with anything unless you're best, that's one of the best to do it. And there's a lot of questions that can come back off of that. And Rule obviously could get word of that by any means of any of those guys of what it looked like. So yeah, I think the refereeing was second half was horrible. That back judge, I swear, the back judge, every time they had a big play, he found a couple times. You're like, where was this? It's like he found something. And it was the back judge. I have to say the back judge at least three occasions.
Yikes.
Found something to throw a flag on. It was crazy.
Jeremy says the real business mindset was Travis Hunter's thought of not trying to tackle Dowdell at the goal line.
Oh, he had a business decision to make on that.
It's like stepping out of the way of the charge to not get dunked on.
You don't think he knew? You don't think he knew and saw and heard? Because he went off and said, dang, where my boy? Because they the Sanders and the Hunter, they like family.
Yeah.
So you don't think he came off and said, where's Shiloh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, from that run. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I remember that.
Don't mind if I don't.
He made a business decision on that specific situation. So, yeah.
You guys are killing it here on the text line, as well as Wade, Monty, and Sways on the text line. We will get to plenty more of your comments, especially those that relate to the actual gameplay on the field. How did Nebraska do what it did? What stood out positively and negatively? More reaction to Nebraska's 28-10 win over Colorado from us and you next.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Get closer to the magic than ever before. Play along with the Toy Story gang. Explore the colorful world of Coco. Sail away with Moana. Soar to new heights with Belle. And journey to Arendelle to thaw a frozen heart. It's an all-out celebration at Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Surge Party. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena September 27th through 29th. Visit DisneyOnIce.com and get your tickets today.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry, this deal ends soon. See Home Club for details.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
It's the greatest time of the year again. Kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog, and this year you can too. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code EARLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code EARLY to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
At Anderson Auto Group, we know your time is valuable. That's why, as part of our Experience Better process, we're pairing you up with a guide. It's one person dedicated to helping you from start to finish, making the process faster and easier. No more waiting, frustration, or spending countless hours at the dealership. At Anderson Auto Group, we want to help you take your time back and get you in the perfect vehicle. Contact us to get paired with a guide today. Experience better at Anderson Auto Group.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Reacting to Nebraska's 28-10 win over Colorado all show long here during On the Block, brought to you by Nebco. A couple of their companies are hiring. Check them out at constructorslincoln.com or readymixconcrete.com or nebcoinc.com. Boston Norman, Eric Strickland with you again 2 to 4 weekdays here during On the Block. Taking your thoughts, your comments all show long here. Stricky, let's start with the first half. Nebraska rolling. 14 points in the first, despite a missed field goal by Tristan Alvano, but Huskers get it back. Tip one of their own to keep Colorado off the board. 2 more touchdowns in the second quarter. Your impressions of the first half in Nebraska being up 4 possessions going into the break?
For me, what made it even more impressive was you come out of the gate. It's a high-powered program, but you're getting after them.
Mm-hmm.
You put the clamps. I want to say at half, they maybe had 2 yards rushing.
I think it was negative even.
Negative 20
yeah,
or something like that. Mm-hmm. They only had 16 yards total. So I was impressed with how quick and how early and how often they got at him. But what did I say? They needed to do. If they got after him with 4, Colorado's going to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what they did. They didn't need 5. They didn't need 6. They threw a couple in there every now and then to mix it up. But when you make them one-dimensional like that and you have guys coming off that edge, and my boy got, guess how many? Two.
Not one.
Which one? Who's my boy?
That was your boy Ty, right? Jamari. Prince Will.
Prince Will.
You got all sorts of boys I don't even know anymore.
Prince Will. He got two. And they just were active. They were in his face. They were getting off blocks. I mean, they were freaking Huckmaker and doggone Ty was hitting them gaps, and they were up and through them quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, golly, that's what I'm talking about. Just disruptors on the inside and the outside. Bullock played absolutely well in the linebacker position. Cornerbacks did their thing. They were there, but a couple. He's an accurate quarterback. He's gonna make some. He's gonna make some passes and some plays. He threw a couple on a dime, and the offensive line looked like. Oh, and another thing that I knew was different is Fedoni. The first game, and I talked about this last year. Fedoni used to come on wham blocks. They did a lot of wham blocking this game. A lot of pulling either from the tackle, the guard to hit the end, or it was the tight end, or it was Janarin Bonner. I knew. Listen, I told you why they were putting him in the slot.
Yeah,
it had to do a lot with, one, his catching ability is solid. He's a good possession receiver, but boy, his blocking from that wide position, he's able to get a hat on somebody and move the line a little bit. So I like that. They did a lot of wham blocking, and what Fedoni used to do, and he did it in the first game a couple times. He would come up in the middle on a trap or a wham, and he would hit air, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, he sprung a couple of those Daldell runs and Ramir Johnson runs because he came up in those holes and he hit somebody, which I was impressed to see.
Nebraska ran the ball much better early than it did late. Matt Rule said, Colorado went to different looks when Shiloh Sanders went out with a broken forearm. But Stricky, Dante Dowdell set the tone, running him over inside the 15-yard line and then making Travis Hunter make that business decision to get out of the way. 17 carries for 74 yards for him. Ramir Johnson was the other feature back for Nebraska in this game. He had 9 for 33, also had the touchdown catch. Those two guys are listed as co-starters on the depth chart this week. That run game was really, really fun to watch early. Pretty much Nebraska could do no wrong for its first 7, 8, 9 run plays.
Yeah, no question. And again, one of the other things that you saw, not only in the run game, but what you saw is just great poise. Great poise. Didn't have a bunch of throwing yards. He was very efficient.
Mm-hmm.
His passes were effective. It was when they didn't need to blow the tops off all night. And look, he put on a dime. Fedoni just within reach. I think if Fedoni doesn't get held up, I think he probably gets to that one because it was well thrown. And then the other one was it Lloyd? I think it was to Lloyd.
Oh, just outside his
fingertips. Just outside
yeah.
his fingertips.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are well thrown balls. But what he did show was just great pocket presence, and and that's where you're talking about business. They did what they were supposed to do. They came in, got the job done, and he was clock management.
Yeah,
as a freshman.
Yeah,
like he wasn't lost in the sauce. He was very poised. Okay, there's 14 seconds. Oh no, we're in no need to hurry here. Let's hold. They stood there and waited on him, got him ready, got him up to the line, got it off by 3. You know what I mean? So that's what Stricky was watching. I'm watching the totality of it, not just, in a microcosm.
I'm glad you brought that up, Stricky. Let's talk about Dylan Raiola here for a second. We'll talk, then we'll play something from Matt Rule. His day, 23 of 30 for 185 yards, 1 touchdown. Questionable, right? Shaky pass over the middle, late, back across his body. Linebacker had it dead to rights. That's kind of when you could tell it was Nebraska's night, that it bounces to Ramir Johnson. He catches it, runs into the end zone. Earlier in the game, Strick, we got questions about this all last week. Oh, Dylan didn't scramble. He was holding on to the ball too long. Is he going to be able to do it? Is he scared to do it? Guess what? First third down of the game, I'm pretty sure it was. Dylan Raiola scrambles, right? Didn't get down, didn't slide or anything, took a little bit of a hit. Didn't seem to phase him. But see, that's what we were talking about, right? He makes good decisions, and I at least wasn't worried about him scrambling. Here's Matt Rule as we turn the page from the first half to the second half, right? It got bogged down in the officiating. It got bogged down with penalties for sure. But here's Matt Rule on how Dylan Raiola handled the second half and what Matt Rule was seeing throughout the last 30 minutes of the game?
Yeah, it wasn't really about him. It was just, like, honestly, the heart. I mean, you're not going to have a lot of games like that in the Big Ten where you're like, hey, they can't score. So if they can't score, what do you do, right? So again, I was pushing us on offense to be aggressive. Again, you take away some of those penalties, and we are pretty aggressive, right? And we had some mistakes, right? We call a counter, the guard doesn't pull, or something happens wrong, and we get hit for a loss. And we have to get a lot better in the field goal game. Like, I should be able to kick those field goals, and so we have a lot of work to do. The snaps still aren't. We have some things to work on, and that's not calling anybody out. That's just coming out of the game, like game flow. Hey, let's just add 3 points here. Let's add 3 points there. But a lot of those penalties really hurt us. That'd have been a 300-400 yard rushing game if that long run and all that, because I think we finished with 185. So, I forgot. I'm sorry, Sam. I forgot what you said. I'm pretty excited right now.
And I was trying to, make sure he didn't throw an interception.
No. I mean, we they were bringing a ton of heat. We were having a hard time picking up. They were bringing everybody, right? And we got some DPIs. We took a couple shots. We were just, we think back to the one goes off, Thomas's hands. One goes off Jalen's hands. We hit Jalen on the one, so we let it rip. But hit the seam ball. Backed up. We're backed up. It's 2nd and 20. We throw a seam ball to Borkacher. So I didn't think we just overall just kept trying to find, because we got up to 75 yards rushing right off the bat. And then they just changed everything. When Shiloh went out, they started playing some cover 2. They started bringing some different pressures, and defense scored, and just felt like we got a little discombobulated maybe. But I'm going to put the ball in Dylan's hands. I trust him.
And then some more praise for Matt Rule earlier today for quarterback one that we'll get to in our next segment, Stricky. But Matt Rule clearly has a lot of confidence in Dylan Raiola. Said, none of that was his fault at getting bogged down. I do think Matt Rule's onto something, right? You add Ramir Johnson's 70-yard touchdown run on. You're over 250 yards rushing right there. Called back by a dumb penalty by Ben Scott. That one's probably closer to legit. Ja'Cory Barney had the long catch and run. So, Strick, yeah, it was discombobulated. It was disjointed for Nebraska in the second half. But we saw them go to big play guy, Ramir Johnson. Ja'Cory Barney, they wanted the ball in his hands. And they threw up some defensive pass interference balls to try to get calls to Jamal Banks. Right now, that seems to be Nebraska's formula. When they're in a rut, it's Ben Barney, it's Ben Banks, and then try to hit a big run play.
Yeah. And I think that'll move depending on how things go. One of the things that we didn't see enough of was challenging the middle of the field. Especially they got them when they needed first downs. They were able to hit guys, or a couple after penalty situations. They were able to hit it a little bit. They got even Fedoni in there one time with a good catch, got hit, got an extra 4 or 5 yards. So they did attack the interior like I figured they would, and didn't necessarily go crazy on the outside. A lot of crossing stuff that would get them off of some of their press coverage, in which they were definitely trying to do. So yeah, man, I was impressed by just what the offense did. Took care of the ball where they turned them over
twice,
right? 2 turnovers, an interception, and a fumble recovery. Turned them over twice. Could have possibly had a few more, but we'll take that. We're in the positive category. We've been so used to being in the negative category when we dealing with turnovers. I'm just glad we're in the positive.
A couple things from the text line here. Twizzlers says, after this game, I believe Dowdell needs the ball 20 times a game to open up play action. Mr. Cub says Dowdell and Ramir Johnson are a great 1-2 punch. Keep hammering. Those were the 2 guys Nebraska trusted for the most part. Matt Rule was asked about that today. Said, yeah, we brought Emmett Johnson in because he was pass protecting, right? He did a good job communicating and kept Dylan Raiola pretty clean. Gabe Irvin, he said it wasn't just, charity carries at the end. He likes what Gabe Irvin can do out of the I formation. So we'll definitely be monitoring that. Ron, did Nebraska go more vanilla after the half, or did Colorado step up and play better? Did you think Nebraska kept some stuff in the sleeve up 4 possessions, or was that just Colorado, figuring a little bit out?
I think so. And again, the ones they hit were some wrinkle to it. Nice little, play wrinkles that they threw in there. They would have been big play opportunities. Couple scores that were missed because of it. So I don't think he totally held back, but I can tell that at one point he went just into management mode, very vanilla, not really needing to show and improve. The defense was doing well. We just need to move this ball. Shout out to Bashini.
Oh my gosh. Best punt of his life.
Shout out to Bashini, man, because we've been missing that. Special teams was huge for this pro, except on the kickoff. Look, I don't care. Put some good. So I'm not saying that they're not, but lane discipline, whoever's taking care of the kicking team, they need to get that worked out because there's a couple opportunities where one of them I know was just he ran out of room on the real big one. Horn did. He ran out of room, but one of them was there was a crease there, and if he could have squeezed through that little crease, it could have been a lot more yardage involved. If it wasn't for the defense, being stout when they needed to be stout. Those change of field position of special teams guard and Alvano. He needs to get that corrected too, because when you get in these tight games, you can't be missing 30 to anywhere from 20 to 30, 20 to 40 yarders. I mean, those should be automatic. You get in a little bit deeper depending on when and depending on that's a whole different thing. But yeah, you got to get that corrected,
especially if you're making 45 yarders to win the state championship game in high school in colder weather than you're playing in now, right? It should be better conditions for you to be kicking in, and you're missing them. And Matt Rule said today at his press conference, Strick, it was one of the worst special teams games he's ever seen his teams play in his life. And that might be the difference for this Nebraska team versus years past. We'll go to break.
Well, shout out to them on the defensive special teams.
Yes.
With the block.
Ty.
Shout out to them on that, man. That's huge too. That's a huge momentum switch. And the punt that took it down to the 2.
Yeah.
Huge momentum shifts.
What is different about this Nebraska team after this win? What's different for the program? Where could things have gone sideways? Where did they stay on the rails? That's how we'll wrap up hour 1.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
At Anderson Auto Group, we know your time is valuable. That's why, as part of our Experience Better process, we're pairing you up with a guide. It's one person dedicated to helping you from start to finish, making the process faster and easier. No more waiting, frustration, or spending countless hours at the dealership. At Anderson Auto Group, we want to help you take your time back and get you in the perfect vehicle. Contact us to get paired with a guide today. Experience better at Anderson Auto Group.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we are out of the gate for September with a very special GMC sales offer. We must move out all new GMC truck inventory fast. So right now at Koppel, we are offering true GM supplier pricing for everyone. Yes, you heard right. True GM supplier pricing on all GMC Sierras. That's over $12,000 off on select models. That's GM supplier pricing, $12,000 off on Sierras. Do not wait. Stop on in or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Sea-Doo dealership. Score up to $300 off or a free 2-year warranty on 2024 Sea-Doo Sparks and $500 off or a free 2-year warranty on all other brand new 2024 Sea-Doos. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of September. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of motorcycles and watercraft in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
It's the greatest time of the year again. Kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog, and this year you can too. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code EARLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code EARLY to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and it will be breezy. See an afternoon high around 90. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy, low around 64. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers in the morning. Otherwise, mostly sunny and breezy with a high around 93. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Order like a champ at Raising Cane's. With tailgates of hand-battered chicken fingers and cane sauce and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade, you can guarantee victory for every game day meal. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love. Order online or on our app.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
New Nebraska or same old Nebraska? That's the last question we have for you at this hour. 402-464-5685. Again, and big thanks to everyone who's texted and commented so far. Keep your thoughts coming all show long. Wade sways Monty on our YouTube stream, and too many of you texters to name. We appreciate you. Shout out to you blockheads for being a part of the show here, Strick. Strick, the bad is that Nebraska special teams are still Nebraska special teams, right? Maybe a bigger high than you had before with Buschini's punt down to the 2-yard line that resulted in the pick six by Tommy Hill, and then you have the blocked field goal by Ty Robinson. But you mentioned the Alvano miss. The punt return was solid with Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, not game-changing, but solid enough. Kick return, you give up the big one to Horn after you just score, which felt like it could have been a momentum killer, but the defense stepped up like it did in years past. That's the bad.
Pause. Can I just throw a little something in that, what you just said? No, go ahead.
You have to stay play.
I saw you pause. I saw you. You were definitely in your pause mode. You did really good. No, I think, listen, I think they should use Ja'Cory Barney in the, I understand, but see, I understand the dynamic of, he stayed around, he left and kind of made, said he was leaving and came back. And you want to, make him involved.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, but I think Barney back there is a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more shifty. Maybe put a two return team back there. Let one be a lead. I don't know
something,
but I like Isaiah, but I really think maybe Barney or someone else back there could be a little bit more juice to that.
That's fair. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. So it's still the same old Nebraska on special teams for the most part. Mixed bag. The difference, Strick, is it didn't cost Nebraska this time. It didn't lead to a big spark play for Colorado that changed the game. It didn't lose Nebraska the game, anything like that. Mitch Sherman in his column brought up 2019. Nebraska's up 17-0 at half, and then the juice was gone, right? Yes, it was on the road against Colorado. We gave up 24 points in the fourth quarter to lose the game. There were moments where it wasn't pretty for Nebraska. See, most of the second half, right? Even in the first half, Colorado had opportunities to score, and they didn't. So on the one hand, yes, it's the same old Nebraska, not playing clean, not playing perfect, giving the other team, a chance to at least hang around in the game. But the difference is that Nebraska found a way to win this one, right? So yes, it's the same old Nebraska, but maybe looking back, like we said last week, we can't say this now, we can't say this next week. Maybe this was a turning point that the team said, we need to be better, but now we know we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to play tight. We just have to be good enough.
And it's, let me just say, I think where that comes from, Austin, I think that comes from good leadership. I think that comes from the why of the retainment. I think that comes from the why of the retainment. I really believe that their retention was so high, 1, because of culture, 2, because of camaraderie, and 3, because of the chase. Ooh, I'm on fire today. Let me, I might have to preach a sermon. Listen, my guy, the retention bred leadership by way of experience of the trouble, the demise, the failures, the flaws. And it's a testament of looking internally and weighing how you can become better, how you can do better, and then how you can perform when it's time to perform and the lights turn on. Everything that you would see in a movie. And I happen to play in one. And me playing in that movie that I played in, shout out to Jim Blanton and Intentions on Tubi, if you want to go check it out. Stricky in there, CEO Jim.
Give that man his Oscar. Give that man his Oscar. You heard me.
So real talk, it's just like that. I have to prepare from the script. Oof, come on, this thing will preach. I have to prepare on the script. I have to know cues. I have to know where to be, where to stand, camera, and I have to understand this stuff. Otherwise, it can throw everything out of whack. And I have to do it without making you, the listener, feel as if I know the camera's there. As if, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is for that football team. All of the lessons they learned, all of the trouble they've endured, all of the losses they took, those guys saw it and they did, and they had one of those look in the mirror moments and they said, no more. That's why they stayed. This is why they're leading. And this is why this team looks different.
28-10, Nebraska beats Colorado again, the final score. And maybe years past, Strick, this is a one-score game at the end because of special teams, or the offense isn't kick-started, or the offense turns it over. Nebraska did get a little lucky not to turn the ball over, right? With the Dylan Raiola touchdown
He
to
threw that
Ramir
one,
Johnson.
and he threw that one.
Could have been turnover.
Through the hands.
Yep, through the hands and everything. So, yes, Nebraska got lucky. Some breaks, absolutely. The difference is Nebraska was up enough to where it didn't matter, and Nebraska took advantage. Other teams haven't done that in the past at Nebraska, right? And I'm not going to say Nebraska's a good team.
They missed those opportunities. Had opportunities to blow it open and really put the onus on. Come on. Talk to them.
It's hard to say that Nebraska really, stepped on Colorado's throat, really pounded that final nail in the coffin. But I think Strick, another touchdown, 2 touchdowns, whatever it was, would have felt nice. But I want to give some credit to the defense again here, because instead of having that last final boom, there's a knockout blow, it was more suffocation, right? You just keep pressure, keep pressure, more boa constrictor than Rattlesnake or Python or whatever, right? It was just the defense squeezing the life out of Colorado. Even when they had drives going, you had confidence in the defense to step up, make a play, and keep points off the board. Now, of course, it helps that Colorado was not immune from the penalty bug as well, right? They committed more than their fair share that both helped Nebraska and hurt themselves. But again, other Nebraska teams let other teams off the hook. This team didn't. And this is where I'm starting to say, okay, I know it's only been 2 weeks. We don't know how good UTEP and Colorado are going to be, but maybe there's something here for this Husker team.
And when I saw, again, I look at the players that I saw last year and how uninspired maybe, how maybe lack of attention to detail, or I saw Elijah Judy, who I had high hopes for, come in the second unit, and I seen him get off some of the balls, some of the blocks, better than I'd seen him. He used to be a person where I would say he lays on blocks. Lazy lays on blocks, right? But he was a little bit different. And it was very rare that you saw somebody out of gap integrity. It was very rare that you didn't see a convergence from
usually
multiple people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed with the totality of it all, but you're absolutely right. It's that thing in basketball is what they've got to learn. I think they did it in a different way, like you said, more of a suffocating manner. They've got to get that kill in them. This next game is an opportunity for that, right? This is an opportunity. This is the ones that you don't have letdowns. Like you can come in, because there's a lot of teams out here that have been doing that. You just go look up and down the scoreboards on Saturdays and see.
Oh, and we'll do that next. Don't worry.
Whoa, wait. And those are letdowns. And I would love to do a deep dive in whether or not how NIL and how making money, because say what you will, there's a complacency. There's a level of complacency, Austin, that happens upon those that feel they're sitting good and pretty.
Isaac says, man, that's the new Nebraska. Long season ahead, but it looked, felt, and sounds new and better. Go Big Red. Axel Foley says, everyone keeps saying Colorado looks like they did last year. Okay, so we lost to them last year. We beat them this year. That shows progress any way you slice it. And John in Cortland said, winning's a habit. Repetitions create habit. Winning becomes the habit. Boom, habitual winner. 2 steps onto this journey for Nebraska. They're 2-0, ranked 23rd and I believe 24th in the AP, or the coaches in the AP poll. And Stricky, there are a couple outlets that have the Huskers as a wild card bid to the college football playoff.
Hey, man.
Oh, boy.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you, if they handle business, they can literally go 10-2. It's set. It's set for them. I watch you at USC. There's some things I like about USC.
They're not perfect.
I think they're beatable. You're not going to find what helps you, again, if this can be their modus operandi, is get there with 4. Nebraska's greatest teams is get there with 4, get there with 4, overwhelm you with 5.
Yes.
Like the 5th isn't overwhelming. Like you're like, wait a minute, hold on. Because you can't double team. It's one-on-ones at that point, right? I give at least on any given play or down, 3 of Nebraska's D linemen at any given time have the ability to beat anybody on a one-on-one. Okay?
And you saw that at the very end of the game. Willis McGahee, the 4th, comes in and beats one of the top-ranked left tackles.
5-star.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? There you go. And he's like 3rd on depth chart.
Yeah.
That's what you got. That's what I love about this team that's different. You saw rotations in and out, no drop off, guys coming in giving you the Deadpool, maximum effort, giving it to you. And that's what you saw, man. All the way across the board. All the way clean up. This week is clean up.
Yep.
You shouldn't, Like I'd put restrictions on penalties. I'd put, look, offense, you got 20 yards, or you got 3 penalties. Or, like I would put some goals on it so that you're aware, because you're going to need that cleanup as you get later in the schedule.
Yep.
Illinois is not easy.
Not after what they just did this weekend.
They're not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana will fight. I still think we're better. I still think we're better collectively as any of those teams, but they'll fight. So if you come in there lollygagging and doing the Barney,
watch out.
I love you. You come in there doing that, watch out.
To your point on Nebraska bringing 3 or 4 guys consistently, Mitch Sherman again tweeted out, through 2 games, Pro Football Focus College has Nebraska's defense blitzing only 7.6% of plays so far this year, which was 0 against UTEP. 8 sacks for the Huskers, tied for second most in the Big Ten, and pressuring the quarterback on 34% of dropbacks. Yeah, you get home with 3 or 4, that's a recipe for success. Ryan in Nashville, Ron, and Bama fan in Lincoln, appreciate your comments as well. Jim Sways on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, thanks for chiming in. We'll go to break. When we get back, let's take a look around the Big Ten. Oregon struggled again. This time was a better opponent. In Boise State, they still struggle. Michigan gets manhandled by Texas. Notre Dame goes down. Plenty more to get to here in college football. We'll take you around the country next.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Order like a champ at Raising Cane's. With tailgates of hand-battered chicken fingers and cane sauce and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade, you can guarantee victory for every game day meal. Raising Cane's Chicken Finger, one love. Order online or on our app.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and it will be breezy. See an afternoon high around 90. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy. Low around 64. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers in the morning. Otherwise, mostly sunny and breezy with a high around 93. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
Does it seem like your clothes dryer doesn't dry like it used to? It may not be your dryer. It may be your dryer vent. When the vent becomes obstructed, it drastically reduces the efficiency of your dryer. Even worse, it can be a fire hazard. Here's the simple solution. Call Bryant. Bryant will thoroughly clean the vent and show you the before and after results. Call 467-1111. Keep your dryer operating efficiently and your home safe. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Early break.
This is the group chat of the three-legged stool.
1 minute into the game.
Yep.
Jake Sorensen. Dolphins offense looks like feces. 1 minute into the season. 14-0 Jacksonville. Season over. Yeah, and I said, maybe next year, Jake. That's been my motto for 33 years. It gets better. Fins down 17-7 at half. There is someone booing in Brewskis. That someone is me.
I didn't see that one. That's funny.
That was funny.
That's funny.
That meltdown was unbelievable. You were 1 minute into the season.
It was startling.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hour 2 of On the Block on a Monday. Funny enough, there was college football taking place outside of Lincoln, Nebraska. Not that it was nearly as important as Nebraska beating Colorado 28-10, but it's definitely worth talking about, taking a look around the Big Ten. We will certainly still take your thoughts here on the text line, on the streams, comment sections, wherever at 402-464-5685. Or if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, drop a comment. Big thanks to Allo as well for giving us channel 961 on their cable package. Stricky, let's start in the Big Ten. We'll get through all of this here before. I know you were having some fun at Notre Dame's expense, as was most of the rest of the country.
If you haven't seen it, you got to go see my tweet. It's absolutely hilarious.
Strick 20.
Strick 20. That it was probably yesterday. Obviously, I tweeted some stuff out for us on the block today. Hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
I was rolling.
Oh, it's so good. Friday, Indiana beats Western Illinois 77-3. Holy cow, Indiana. They might be all the way back.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not. Duke takes 2 overtimes to beat Northwestern 26-20 on the Lake Michigan beachfront. Then we get into Saturday. Ohio State, no problems with Western Michigan. And Stricky, a game that I think a lot of people had circled last year, even with the departure of Jim Harbaugh and all that talent for Michigan. Still a big game. Texas comes in, has 0 problem with the Wolverines. Does that say more about Texas or Michigan to you?
I say a combination of both. We knew Donovan Edwards is a phenomenal talent. But what you can only infer, you can't really foretell, because I'm not Cleo with my crystal ball. I can't really do that part of it, because this team, they have a lot of internal strife. Like, I don't know if you understand. Coaches that don't have a full contract, you're still dealing with allegations and implications and alleged things going on that's still being investigated. You've got players that have a lot of mental uncertainties. You knew they were down. They lost their 1-2 combination. They've lost some great leadership on their front line. Obviously, they add. I didn't think their defense was as good as it was last year. So I knew that was going to be a challenge for them. So Texas is locked in stock. They are. I mean, look, they're locked in stock. They got ready. They knew the transition to the SEC, what it was going to be. They knew they had to get physical. They knew. And I think that's what they came in there and did. They just came in there and got after them. I mean, they didn't allow Michigan to do much of anything.
24-3 at the half, and Michigan's touchdown comes late in the fourth quarter when they're trying to, preserve a streak for them about, scoring a touchdown in all these non-conference games. Quinn Ewers looks really good. Texas still wasn't running the ball all that effectively. Granted, they're down like at least 3 running backs, if not 4, so they're piecing it together right now. But Ewers looks really good. Is he quarterback one in the NFL draft class for you right now? Is it Beck? Is it Shedeur? Who do you think has the edge right now?
I think yours has a bigger compilation of everything that you would need as a professional quarterback. I listen, I can't fault Shedeur. And I think scouts can't either. I think where scouts will look at Shedeur's situation and weigh it out is when he hits adversity. What's his leadership style and quality? If he goes into a shell, he's not inspiring, he's not pumping up, he's not engaging, he's kind of in his own little pop.
Offensive lineman.
You know what I'm saying? If you're doing that is very risky to bring into an organization to lead your next transition or whatever you're trying to get to. Go up in the playoffs, get to the playoffs, or push for a championship.
Well, especially
your
if
championship
it's an
window.
organization that is already struggling, right?
Yeah.
It needs leadership, and you bring
Yeah.
someone like that in. I mean, Shedeur Sanders is probably a first half of the first round pick.
Yeah.
Same with Ewers, same with Beck right now. Teams are always going to take quarterbacks, and it can't just be on the field. It has to be including how you respond to that adversity, like you're saying.
Well, and they're going to look at just technique things. This just shows you how good Tommy Hill is as far as understanding routes, combinations, knowing that this D line is getting there under the normal count of 2, 4. You know what I'm saying? Seconds. So that ball's got to come out quick. He sits because he doesn't have a deep third to cover because no one running a deep route. So he squats. Shedeur's mistake is you never throw wide side of the field after it's not on time and on target.
Right.
If you wait, that's dead. Throw it away. Right? That's the type of stuff that scouts will look at and evaluate. Not the fact that he's not getting any time to throw. They can understand that's a lineman issue. It's the decisions you make or how you evade it. We always knew that Brady had sometimes bad lines.
Yeah.
He knew I have to get it out quick. Where's my hot reads? He knew a whole swath of things, how to adjust. Okay, my back's going to be on him. He's looking for matchups because he knows his receivers have a chance to win. I'm accurate enough with low balls, lead balls, or back shoulder balls that as long as my guy can give me a place to throw it, right? I know that they'll make plays. You see what I'm saying? But he wasn't a beneficiary of great line play. He wasn't like the Cowboys and having all that. So they understand that. They're going to look at the decisions and the body language and the things like that. Those are some of the things they'll weigh out.
A couple other top 10 Big Ten teams struggled as well, but they actually came out ahead, Stricky. Oregon beats Boise State by a field goal, 37-34, and Penn State only beats Bowling Green by a touchdown, 34-27. Bowling Green led it at the half, gave Penn State everything they wanted. Are you concerned about either of these two teams?
Very, because really, real talk, Boise State won that game. This is why I say Nebraska has to tighten up in special teams. They lost because of special teams. Punt return, kick return, tutties.
Yeah.
That's 14 points. They didn't do nothing else. All you got to do is keep them in front, run your lanes, get off blocks, slow him down, make a play. Even if he gets to the 30 or 40, make a play. You gave up punt return, kick return, and you lose by 3. What can you say? What can you say?
Yeah.
This is why Nebraska needs to tighten up. Because you don't want to be in a great defensive game against an Ohio State, similar to some things that happened in Michigan. You don't want to have it be because of special teams as to why you lose a close game.
Right.
To include field goals like Obama, you've got to tighten it up, baby. You can't go into those games being what? Shaky. You can't be shaky.
Well, hey, Stricky, speaking of field goals, number 21, Iowa goes down to Iowa
A
State.
long one.
Hawkeyes 13-0 lead at half. Iowa State It cuts that deficit from a 13-point deficit to just a 6-point deficit, or a 5-point deficit. I can do math, I believe. And they end up winning at 2019 on a 50-something yard field
almost
goal
60
late in the game.
It was a long one.
First time, Stricky, since Nebraska in 2014 that Iowa has blown a 13-point halftime lead like that. Good for Iowa State. You got a big cheer on the Jumbotron when they showed that game there. Iowa's offense looked really good against a lesser program last week. Brought back down to earth this week against power competition. I don't think it's going to be as bad as last year, but maybe it is, right? But special teams come back and bite the Hawkeyes in the butt, which is always kind of funny to see. Rutgers, no problems. Minnesota, no problems. Illinois. Stricky did the dang thing, and they're Nebraska's first Big Ten game here in a couple weeks.
And listen, and Kansas, that Kansas team is a good team.
Yep.
Leopold has them. They're a really good team. They're not bad. They just, you go on the road. Couple things happen, good or bad, or you lose a momentum shift, or you just end up the one with the ball late in the game. They made their bed and had to lay in it. Kansas had 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions from Jalen Daniels. 3 interceptions, my boy. And he lost the fumble. So he's created 4. That's looking very one score game.
1 score game.
Who does that remind you of?
Really have to rack my brain for that one. Not.
Yeah, that looks like a box score for what the old Huskers used to be. This is why, you've got to love, like, okay, you talked about it. The long pass that he made thrown across his body. Here's why he can make that pass. You want to see, this is the greatness of what you're starting. You're only tipping the iceberg of what you're probably going to see out of Dylan Raiola as we continue to grow and go forward. He knew the coverage so well that he knew, if I just throw the ball in this spot, my guy's the only one that can get it. He knew he had the safety beat. He just got enough on it into a spot area away from them to where they can't just turn, look at it, and go get, right? They have to turn, find, and still go get. So he threw it just in that, and it was high enough, long enough to where adjustment can be made by his person, but it was in between 2 converging, a corner and a safety, and he was able to go back and get it.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why that worked, and it's because he knew what coverage That's what I'm saying so good about this young man. He knew what coverage they're in. That if he threw to that spot, that's the open spot that. The only other thing he could have done, set his feet and throw it to the back of the end zone, where he would have caught it easy because he had the safety beat. Right.
But with pressure bearing down on a freshman quarterback, you're not necessarily surprised he made the decision he did. But hey, next time, set your feet, let it rip. Show us what you got.
And here's the other beautiful thing. Could have run.
Could have done that.
He could have run. He had open lane to run. But that's what I like about him. He's looking to throw unlike our quarterbacks of the past.
Is your read on that, the coaching staff is saying, hey, keep your eyes up, keep your eyes downfield, use your arm first? Or you think that's a natural thing and a feel for the game thing that Dylan Raiola has?
I think it's a little bit of both. And you got to understand who his mentor is and who probably he's watched a lot of film of.
Yeah.
Right? We know Patrick Mahomes can run. He can be very effective in running. But we also know that he's toned that down. And it's really, I'm running to win. Like I'm not trying to run. I'm running for these 3 yards and slide. You know what I'm saying? I'm going, oh, wait, I got 8 on this one. Slide. Oh, whoa. It's a lot of opening here. 15. 15, but I need 17. I'm going in. Right? He understands that, and I think Dylan's learning that pretty quickly.
Couple other things out of the Big Ten here. Wisconsin struggles to put away South Dakota. Yotes made it a game. A.J. Randall, but they win it 27-13. Michigan State gets a mixed bag from Aiden Childs. 363 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, but 3 picks. Spartans go on the road and win it 27-24.
You know who's looking good?
You.
And you, my
You're
boy.
on that grind.
But here's the real talk. The one you got to watch out for is Rutgers. I'm trying
49-17.
They listen. They're better.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense has always been solid, but there's something going on with their offense right now. They're dangerous. They're a dangerous team. So be careful with them.
Ice and
Be careful with everybody, but
Well.
definitely keep your eye on them.
Right. Sways says, not Big Ten related, but Nebraska related. UTEP looked like horrid garbage. They lost 27-24 to an FCS team, Stricky. They're 0-2 with their new head coach. That certainly doesn't help Nebraska out, but also, shows that Nebraska took care of business last week, right? In beating them 40-7 like they did. And I think that can be the carryover and the carry forward from Colorado and potentially even Northern Iowa is who cares how good or bad these teams look at the end of the year? How did Nebraska play against them, right? I don't care if Colorado goes 4-8 again. They're off the schedule. I'm kind of done talking about them for a while outside of celebrating and dancing on the grave, maybe a little bit here. But if Nebraska wins by 18 points by 3 possessions against teams like Colorado or by 30-plus points against teams like UTEP that are losing to FCS teams, you can only play who's on the schedule. Same thing we said about basketball last season as well. If Nebraska is taking care of business, in the end, that's really ultimately what matters, not necessarily what the other teams do or don't do.
True. At the end of the day, then, we know where Iowa sits.
Yep.
They drop out?
I believe they're out. Yep.
Okay. As you look up here, let's just real quick through the top 25. Because are we done? Are we done with Big Ten? Did you get through all the scores?
Yeah, we're good. Mm-hmm. But you got big months coming up soon. So
yeah, when you look at this list, there's some good teams on there.
Yeah.
Of 15 to 25, who falls out? Which 2 fall out next? I'll give you one. I actually think Kansas State could be in trouble. And I like them because Keegan's on the team. I really do like them, but they're showing some shaky OC play for me as far as play calling stuff. Running backs, offensive is good. They look potential. Definitely Michigan's going out. So I'm going to say Michigan, be careful with them because they're not 15, so I can't really talk about them, but definitely Michigan to me. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say Boston College.
BC's the easy one for me because they play a ranked Missouri team next week. So, yeah, I could see them falling out. Michigan probably won't against Arkansas State, I guess we'll see. LSU against South Carolina, maybe?
It's a trap game.
I would say so as well.
Yeah.
Does Purdue, Sway says, do something to Notre Dame? Man, Notre Dame needs it really badly. I don't know how much I'm buying Purdue necessarily. If Kansas State beats Arizona, Arizona's probably out. And see, I'm actually more impressed with Kansas State. I think they're fine. I was impressed with how they beat Tulane. Wasn't pretty, but Tulane, I think, is still solid.
Tulane's a good team.
Yeah. So, good stuff there. We'll go to break. We're going to get Brian Munson back on the line. We talked to him in the last segment of our show on Friday. We want him back here today to recap the weekend that was in recruiting. Just how beneficial was it for Nebraska? What was the takeaway he got from recruits? We'll call up our recruiting guy and talk to him next.
Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Get closer to the magic than ever before. Play along with the Toy Story gang. Explore the colorful world of Coco. Sail away with Moana. Soar to new heights with Belle. And journey to Arendelle to thaw a frozen heart. It's an all-out celebration at Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena September 27th through 29th. Visit DisneyOnIce.com and get your tickets today.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
In today's digital landscape, the security of your business is non-negotiable. That's why you need better cybersecurity solutions. At Hamilton, we make it our business to protect your network, data, and digital assets with the latest in cybersecurity technology. Our dedicated team of experts has the technology in place to protect what matters most to you and your business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with better cybersecurity protection. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hey, Nebraska football fans, it's defensive lineman Ty Robinson, and I've got a winning play for you with Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. Team up with Action and install a new Bradford white water heater in your home. And if we win the conference championship this season, you'll get a full refund. Don't fumble this opportunity. Sack your old water heater this season and score big with Action. Visit actionlincoln.com/Huskers to learn more.
Promotion valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Have you ever gotten a car deal so good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
Primary care that understands you. At CHI Health Clinic, our dedicated primary care team takes time to hear you, understand you, and get to know you and your family at every stage of life. We believe in building lasting relationships with our patients. That's why we offer convenient, affordable health care close to home or work. Find out how we treat your whole family like family at chihealth.com/primary care.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We turn our attention to our VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. I'm Austin Norman, Eric Strickland to my left, your right on stream. The face you see on stream, Brian Munson of Husker Online with us, breaking down a huge weekend in Husker football recruiting. Before we do that, Brian, 34-28 Bills over the Cardinals. Your reaction to the week one win for Buffalo?
Oh, I know. I'm still probably
Oh, no.
going to the end of the first quarter. It was rough. I mean, it didn't look like they were making the play all. Then you had Josh Allen's fumble on the first drive, and they just couldn't stop them. Finally things seemed to kind of turn in the second half. They got to punt the ball a couple of times, and obviously getting the didn't Buffalo allow the first new kicking rule touchdown return of all? So there were a lot of just things that they needed to clean up, and but the defense finally came to play in the second half, and that was great. So all in all, it was a victory. Josh Allen, he's a warrior. I don't know how people consider him to be the most player in the NFL, and hopefully the injury is not too big.
The flip side of that was Nebraska football came to play in the first half. Second half was a bit of a grind. How do you assess Nebraska's performance against Colorado in the 28-10 win?
Yeah, you kind of said it right there. Came out and executed in the first half, and then second half it seemed like, I hate to say it, but I kind of felt like the referees wanted to become part of the storyline. It seemed like there were a number of calls that were made against Nebraska that I didn't necessarily agree with. There were a lot of calls that I felt like were missed, particularly I think that the touchdown came on the play where Polar Bear was being held, where his jersey was kind of pulled out around his shoulder pad. So I don't know how you don't make that call, honestly. But I think all in all, I think that there's a lot of things that Nebraska can clean up. I mean, they clearly left points on the field. I mean, Coach Rule even said that, but you felt that on Saturday night, kind of looking away from it. It really wasn't even a contest. It really wasn't. So if Nebraska got a few more of those things kind of cleared up, maybe got a few more of the drives basically scored on those drives, probably scoring to the 40s, which is what I was kind of predicting. Although I think the defense was the star. I think, like you said on Saturday night, I think the defense just played lights out for the most part. They got pressure on them without still unveiling too many different things that they can do, I think, defensively. So there's a lot of guys that got involved, in getting pressure on the quarterback all the way, of course, to like Willis McGahee, with the last sack on the night. So all in all, I think there's a lot of things to be really excited about when it comes to defense.
Well, we're on defense. Nebraska had two really big recruits in the next class, Dawson Merritt, Christian Jones, both linebackers. What'd you hear from or about those guys and their time at the game on Saturday?
Yeah, Dawson got back to me this morning, and he's getting bombarded is what I think it was exact words that he used with me this morning. And I mean, obviously, I understand it. I mean, Alabama had to be even interested, of course, as well, because they didn't exactly go out there and set the world on fire on Saturday either. And Nebraska did. And I mean, there were posts everywhere on Twitter about, the game environment, the atmosphere. Is it any better anywhere in the nation other than in Nebraska? So Nebraska's kind of cool again in a lot of different ways, right? And I think Dawson Merritt can see it. I think he can see, I think everybody has had to basically use these renderings, these drawings, basically of how the construction is happening or going to happen under Matt Rule. Well, I think Saturday night was kind of that first, evidence that things are going that way, that, you're back into kind of that I want to call it typical rebuild that Matt Rule has to make and how teams fare from year one to year two, but it's looking that way. It's looking like, and I think part of the reason why I don't want to kind of say that yet is because I don't think necessarily Colorado was as good as people thought that they might have been. But I think that also the schedule, the way that it shapes up, you don't really have that kind of opponent yet until week 8. When you play against Ohio State. So you have to go out now. And I think the important part is what I think we talked about, late last week. You have to go out there and stay sharp. All these games now kind of become trap games. If they don't have the name Colorado or Ohio State or Oregon kind of associated to it. You just have to go out and play the next game for the next game. And if you can go out and knock them all down as they set them back up again, you could find yourself in a really good position. Like, I'm not sure if all y'all saw, but the On3, took a stab at the forecast for the college football playoff. Had Nebraska's in the first 4 out. Ooh. So now they're already thinking that, Nebraska's in that top kind of 16 list. So really Nebraska has to go out there and just take care of business. And if they can do that, it'll be very exciting, I think, to hear about some of the conversations we're going to have down the road.
Any other defensive prospects that Nebraska made an impact on, probably positive, maybe negative, from Saturday's game against Colorado?
I just put up a great article with J.J. Dunnigan, who is a cornerback from Manhattan, Kansas.
Tell people where they can find that.
On Husker Online. It literally just went up. So if you can find me on Twitter to go out there, it's just @BrianMunson_. I just put up a link to that. I think that, kind of looking at the 2026 class in particular, I talked to Jaden McGregory yesterday. He had a fantastic visit. He's a guy that's been in Nebraska recently a couple times in the last couple of months. I'm going to have another visit or another update coming here shortly with Caden Cobbs, who's a safety from Denton Geyer. He had a wonderful time. I've had updates up from Hunter Higgins, who is from Wichita, Kansas, Mays South High School. He had a great time in Nebraska. I think what Hunter Higgins, like when he sees it, he watched Ty Robinson. He says a lot of similarities there for me. I mean, I have to put on some good weight, but I love what Coach Knighton's doing, moving guys up and down the line. I think I have that kind of versatility going for me. Caden Cobbs, they see him kind of moving down, playing, kind of a rover, kind of an outside linebacker, kind of being a little bit more versatile with stuff. And Jaden McGregory, I mean, he is just a fantastic athlete, and I think Nebraska's in a really good spot for him. I also have updates to come with Isaac Jensen and Jace Reynolds. Jace Reynolds, obviously the linebacker or edge linebacker from Elkhorn North. So I've got stuff still to come. It was just, man, I just couldn't get all of it done yesterday when all this stuff was kind of coming in. And honestly, it's good to kind of keep feeding this thing and keeping the thoughts and the juices going, because it's really stirring some things in me, because I just can't think of a time recently where Nebraska's had like this kind of momentum to where they can kind of go out there and sell this to recruits, as opposed to close your eyes and imagine, right? I mean, it seems like Nebraska finally has some high ground here. They have some national appeal with some of the other news outlets and people that are picking up the story, and people that are very excited about what Matt Rule is doing. I'm very interested to see how the Nebraska coaching staff can kind of take this success and this momentum for a little bit of a drive.
Well, Brian, one way that could happen would be, assistants moving on, right? A guy like Tony White that had some head coaching opportunity interviews last season. Let's say that he moves on after this season, whether it's, John Butler, Rob Dvorak, outside hire. Are the guys that Nebraska is recruiting on defense right now specifically 3-3-5 Tony White defense style fits? Or are they good enough athletes in the most case that you could see them playing different roles and maybe a different defensive scheme?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting take. I think that, how Tony White kind of has that 3-3-5, that's kind of the defensive style he likes with the attackers, and just kind of turning the defensive linemen loose, and letting them get after him. And that's what he said. He's got some great ones up front that he can kind of go ahead and ride and let them do that this year. I think he has plenty of those guys still, either, in the 2025 class, or like, Pedshock and Tyson Terry. I think those guys are, and Malcolm Simpson. I think those are guys that, you can line up at different spots all the way along that line. I think they're very versatile. I think that's what kind of is the key in that odd front defensive line. You need players that you can, although they're a little bit more limited, you can put them up, into the A gap. You can put them over the zero. You can do different things with them, and then you can move the other guys around from a 2 to a 4 to a 6, out to a 5 or a 7. I think that those are very different looking guys, but I think that these are all very versatile guys, long, athletic. I think it just depends on what kind of offense you're kind of seeing and how the game plan needs to go to kind of plan on it. So I do feel like they are 3-3-5 guys. I do feel like they could play traditional roles. But I think that, and listening to like the words of like Hunter Higgins, and you listen to like the words that Coach Knighton, is using, to recruit the players in the 2026 class, he's preaching basically that versatility. He's telling them, like, don't give me a reason to go out there and feel like you can't do this role. You need to be ready to kind of play this, and be able to do these different things as a defensive lineman. So I think they can be more traditional, even front guys, but I think that they are being recruited 3-3-5, and I think that all those guys love that opportunity to kind of move around.
We're talking with Brian Munsniff, Husker Online here, breaking down the big recruiting weekend for Nebraska against Colorado. Let's flip it to offense here, Brian. We've gone this long without mentioning the names Michael Terry or Cortez Mills. Any movement for Nebraska on those fronts?
Yeah, Michael Terry. Well, nothing on Cortez Mills, and I'll be honest with you. I'll go back and touch on Terry in a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't think Nebraska could have picked a better weekend, basically, to host Cortez Mills. OU struggled, and Nebraska's atmosphere, the environment, it was electric. Obviously, and the basically everything that surrounds the program right now, the positivity and Dylan Raiola and where he can kind of lead things and being a true freshman quarterback. And I think the connection that both he and Terry have with Raiola, I think it's critical. I think if you didn't have that, if this was kind of another thing here where, Nebraska's trying to jump in, midstream, I think it'd be very tough to do. But, you've already hosted, Mills last year. You already had him come in for an official visit in April. Now you're kind of trying to figure in another way, another angle to kind of get back into this equation. So I think that's a pretty big thing for him. But I think with Terry, I think Nebraska, did do a great job to impress him. One of the things, of course, he mentioned again was the environment. I tell you what, one thing that was very that kind of caught me out of all the pictures that we ran over the weekend. We had a heck of a visitor gallery on Sunday morning, so go out there and check it out on Husker Online. But Michael Terry's a big, thick kid. And that's the 5-star, number one athlete in the country, according to On3. I can kind of see why, some folks kind of see him maybe playing defense, or even like Oregon saying like you are a little bit more like of a tight end. He is a put together individual. Nebraska obviously still liking him, still look at him as a wide receiver option in their class. But I think that, Nebraska put their best foot forward the only way that they could, basically on Saturday night, trying to find a way to get in there and be a little bit more competitive. The problem obviously is, of course, Texas looked pretty good against Michigan earlier in the day. And there really is only one other team, I think, in the nation recruiting as well as Texas right now. That's Miami. So both those programs are recruiting very, very well. So there's a lot of momentum going on there. Nebraska has to kind of get going here in a couple, 3 weeks, get out to that 4-0, 5-0 start, really starting to tee up that matchup coming up with Ohio State and get some real kind of juice going on this thing. And then maybe there's going to be more opportunity with a guy like Terry, but I think there's even opportunity for Nebraska to potentially reach back out to some guys that maybe decided not to visit Nebraska in April or June and see what they can do about maybe getting a couple of those guys to take another look at the Huskers.
And Brian, would that be more likely to happen potentially this week against Northern Iowa, or would it be in, a few weeks now with Rutgers, right? Because you have the Friday night game against Illinois, which I'm sure we'll talk about just how much that throws off recruiting here in a little bit. But would it be smart for Nebraska to try to follow up the energy of Colorado by having another big weekend against Northern Iowa and try to capitalize on momentum? Or do you wait for maybe the Rutgers game, your next opportunity for a home Saturday?
I think you're probably looking more at Rutgers. I think that when you have these types of weekends here, like Colorado, there was a lot of time that was needed to kind of pull this thing together for Colorado. Like I said with you guys on Friday, I think I was talking to guys on their official visits in June, and they were already talking about coming back to Nebraska on the 7th of September to take in the Colorado game. So Nebraska staff has been working on this for months. To kind of pull things together for you and I probably seems a little difficult. I would try to get Rutgers teed up as quickly as possible. We do know of a couple guys, obviously, already that we are expecting to have in town for Rutgers. You have Bonwell White, the big wide receiver from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and you got Keenan Harris, probably the number one safety on Nebraska's board from St. Louis University High School. So that weekend is going to shape up to be a very good weekend. But you also, to your point, you got Matt Ludwig coming in this weekend from Billings, Montana. That's the cousin of Vince Genatone. So this is a good chance that after kind of Texas Tech is kind of trying to find a way to get in there a little bit with him. I think Boise State's trying to also stay in the picture there a little bit with him. So this is a critical weekend to kind of make sure that Ludwig, probably comes back to Nebraska as an official visitor next year.
You heard Brian tell you before. We'll repeat it here. HuskerOnline.com, part of the On3 Network, and Brian Munson _ on Twitter for everything you need to know when it comes to recruiting. Brian, thanks for chatting with us on back-to-back shows here. Appreciate the update, all your hard work. We will keep an eye out for not necessarily what you're saying, but definitely what you're typing over there at Husker Online. Thanks a ton, man.
All right, guys. See ya.
Brian joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Stricky, we got some movie news, some film news. We know that's up your alley. Not necessarily great news, but we'll talk about that to round out On the Block next.
Riddle's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Riddle's inside Gateway Mall.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Hey, Nebraska football fans, it's defensive lineman Ty Robinson, and I've got a winning play for you with Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. Team up with Action and install a new Bradford white water heater in your home. And if we win the conference championship this season, you'll get a full refund. Don't fumble this opportunity. Sack your old water heater this season and score big with Action. Visit actionlincoln.com/Huskers to learn more.
Promotion valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Have you ever gotten a car deal so good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
Experience a cleaner tomorrow with Nieder House Refuse. Whether it's weekly residential pickups, large-scale commercial disposals, recycling, or roll-off, Nieder House's team is here with reliable, efficient service and the most advanced solutions. Discover the difference that a committed and experienced waste management company can make. Nieder House Refuse has been in business for over 100 years and is family-owned and operated since 1921. Call Nieder House Refuse at 402-475-8361 and visit their website at nbrefuselincoln.com to learn more or sign up for your service today.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Riddle's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Riddle's inside Gateway Mall.
Early break.
This is the group chat of the three-legged stool.
1 minute into the game.
Yep.
Jake Sorensen. Dolphins offense looks like feces. 1 minute into the season. 14-0 Jacksonville. Season over. Yeah, and I said maybe next year, Jake. That's been my motto for 33 years. It gets better. Ben's down 17-7 at half. There is someone booing in Brewski's. That someone is me.
I didn't see that one. That's funny.
That was funny.
That's funny.
That meltdown was unbelievable. You were 1 minute into the season.
It was startling. Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Been a lot of football here during On the Block, just the way we like it, on a victory Monday after Nebraska takes down Colorado 28-10. If you have any final thoughts, get them in here in the last few minutes of the show, 402-464-5685, or on stream. Y'all were going crazy on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Really appreciate that. But Stricky, some disappointing news from the silver screen. Legendary, beloved actor James Earl Jones passed away just today at the age of 93. When you think of James Earl Jones, what's the first role that comes to mind?
So a lot of you guys, there's something out there right now that they call the Mandela effect. I am a big connoisseur of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Luke. Now, Mandela effect. I seen this movie. I watched him and he said, Luke, I am your father.
No.
That ain't what.
That ain't it.
That's what
cat.
I saw.
That's cat.
With my own eyes.
Did you hear it with your own
effect,
ears?
I heard it. That's what he said. I don't care what anybody say. Who on the Sutter Heyman text line understand what Stricky talking about? I know you heard it. Don't act like you did it. These young bucks, like here's another one.
I am your
Here's
father.
another one, my boy. Look, I'm a Monopoly connoisseur.
Mm-hmm.
The game.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to monopoly all
You're
the
a Broadway
attention.
Park Place high roller. I know.
I'm not trying to take over the tickets airwaves and have a monopoly on everybody's ears. That's not what Stricky do. But I like to play Monopoly. I like to land on Park Place and Boardwalk. I like to buy it. I'm putting hotels on it, so when you cross my path, you paying me the money. Now, Mandela effect. That man had a, what are they called? The little glass eyes? He had a monocle. Now that you go look at it now, there's no monocle. That's cap, Mandela effect. I don't know if we're in a different timeline, so I don't know, man. Something going on. And if you saw Shazam, the movie, you wouldn't know about this, Austin. See, you're not a connoisseur. You wouldn't know about Shazam. That was played by the doggone, what's his name? He's a comedian. He was Sinbad.
Sinbad, yeah.
Man, I seen that movie, man. They gonna tell me that Sinbad didn't play that part. Y'all crazy. I'm sorry. I just had to rant real quick.
The Monopoly man has never had a monocle, Stricky.
Cap. That man had a monocle when Stricky was growing up. You whoever that is, a young buck.
Do you spell Fruit Loops Fruit loops or FROOT loops?
It was FROOT loops. Y'all think Stricky, man, Stricky got good memory. Well, man, sometimes. But I do remember those. I do remember those. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of things I've seen that, listen.
Hey, 1097's with you.
Yeah.
He says, wait, he didn't say, Luke, I'm your father? No, the line is, no, I am your father. Promise.
Cap.
Empire Strikes Back.
I'm trying to tell you, that's what you saw.
Because then Luke's song goes,
that's what you saw.
It's not what I saw, it's what I heard.
Luke, I'm your father. No, we started this all by talking about James Earl Jones. Shout out to James Earl Jones, man. He lived a great life. One of the best voices ever. I don't even know if his voice can ever be duplicated, to be honest. No. But shout out to him. Condolences to the family. Yeah. We lost a good one. He lived a good life, though.
He did. After Star Wars, it's what? Coming to America? Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, he was like CIA director or admiral. Yeah.
Patriot Games along with
Love
Red
the great
October.
movies. Yeah.
Sandlot, Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
The Field of Dreams monologue, Stricky. Oh, that's iconic.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah. James Earl Jones, man. Shout out to him. Coming to America, he was funny.
He was
funny on that too. Was it a good line? Bezos! I could never duplicate that voice. He had an iconic voice, man.
He's also in Lion King, Stricky.
He was Mufasa. He was Mufasa.
Yep.
Shout out to him.
5871 came through with that one. Tim A. V. Stricky, 100% right on the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Stricky keeps telling y'all.
Yeah, man, y'all, Stricky, hey, man, there's a lot. Hey, Fruit of the Loom, that's one of them, too. It had a basket. Now, don't come in my DMs saying nothing other than what I saw. It was a little basket with the Fruit of the Loom fruits inside the basket. I'm trying to tell you.
Trying to find some other famous examples here. I think you hit all the big ones, Stricky.
Stricky be on them, bro. Listen, I got lots of questions. Let me just say that. I got lots of questions. When I go about my day and I'm, observing things and looking at things, I got questions when I see some stuff.
Is Oscar Mayer or Oscar Mayer?
See?
Which one is this, Stricky?
Mayer. Meyer. Yeah. Don't act like it wasn't.
Mayer.
The Bernstein Bears.
Stain.
It's Stain. No.
It's Stain.
I
just read Big Road Race yesterday. I just read Road Race yesterday.
I was a young buck. I was a young buck watching that, man. I read all the books. Stein. I know y'all know 402-464-5685. Who rolling with Stricky? Talk to me. Okay, what else?
Stain.
Cap.
I read it yesterday.
I know you did, because you're a young buck. It already did its swish. But now listen, here's the crazy thing. I happen to be watching TV. I like this show called The Impossible Channel, right? And they show all these like crazy things happening and it's caught on camera, right? I happen to be watching it and they were talking about the Bernstein, your Bernstein Bears.
Bernstein, yep.
Okay, here's what was crazy. The guy on it had an old BlackBerry phone. The oldest, you wouldn't even know. Austin wouldn't even know what a BlackBerry phone is. He's like, what is that?
I more likely know what a BlackBerry phone is than an actual BlackBerry.
Okay, I give you that.
Don't eat fruit.
He doesn't have a clue what a BlackBerry phone, but he had a BlackBerry phone. This guy had the Bernstein Bear book, right?
Okay.
He turned on the BlackBerry. He put the camera over the book. It switched to the EIN. Just the way I saw it. He takes it off. It goes to the AIN. He put it over the camera, EIN. Something's going on out there. I just got questions.
44.91. Fruit of the Looms got me messed up. Strick is about to stroke out. Justin says, how can you leave out James Earl Jones and Conan?
Ooh.
That was a good one,
That's
Justin.
right. He was the snake dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's classic. Conan the Barbarian was classic.
Mm-hmm.
You know another good classic was for me? I was a big Star Trek fan. But the one that got me...
You boldly go where no man has gone before?
...was number 3. The Wrath of Khan. Whoa. Who was that actor? He said something. He said, I spit at thee. I mean, there's a scene in there, man. He was doing a little monologue after they
I spit on your grave?
No. He didn't say that, but he did this monologue in it. And what was that actor's name? He was good too in Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan. Y'all should check that out sometime. And check out Stricky's movie. You see? What was his name?
I'm trying to find it here.
He was Khan.
Yeah.
Man, I can't remember. I know y'all know. I know the Sutter Heyman text line always on it. The actor on that. Was that the actor that played D-Plane? I think he was the guy on that too. Not Gilligan's Island.
Ricardo Montalban?
Yes. That's
Thank
him.
you, Volleyball Nut. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, Montalban. That's him. Ricardo Montalban. Hey, listen, he was good. He was good. Yeah.
Nice.
You guys are great. Thank you guys, Rod in South Lincoln. I appreciate you.
Y'all coming through.
What?
NUVB Nut. Nebraska Volleyball.
Oh,
Nut.
okay. Yeah. Oh, you guys are great.
Let's go. We appreciate you. We always have, we always will.
Facts.
So that's going to put a bow here on the block. Got Old School coming up. Please don't. Be safe driving home, Stricky.
I'm good.
Good. Deep breaths. We're moving on. It's been a great day talking Husker football. We will have the shootout with Strick tomorrow, brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings. 2:45. Stay tuned for that. Plenty more to get to, especially in the NFL. Bryce Young. Too early to call him a bust? Are we there? Other NFL headlines and plenty more. Don't go anywhere. This has been On the Block, brought to you by Nebco. Check them out at nebcoinc.com. We got Old School coming up next.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit Constructors